Hello, welcome to Same Cast Different Day podcast. I'm Martel.
And I'm Tina.
Yay, we're back with another episode. So, for those of you who are celebrating Pride, happy Pride Month. Today we did have Pride Fest locally here in Milwaukee over the weekend, or over this weekend. I personally didn't go because Tina already know why I didn't go because the Pride Fest organizers knew why there's a lot of people not going because of the lineups they had. But one thing I see that they did added this year that they haven't seen at previous events was they did have like carnival like games there. So that's the only thing I see that they added new. Um, but yeah. And then in honor of Pride Month, Tina wanted me to play this video for y'all because in New York, the Common Council held a ball. I don't know what they call these balls, but it was like a ball. So I want to play the clip for you. Me personally, the ballroom scene is not my thing, but there's people who enjoy that scene, and it looked like they had a really good time there in New York. New York seemed to be taking a really big turn with their new mayor in office.
Yeah, I like him. He been doing some pretty dope things. One thing I saw was on April 15th here in the United States is known as tax day, right? So that's when that is the last day for you to file your taxes. And on that day, he introduced a new tax for people who own luxury real estate whose primary residence is not in New York. And he said with that new bill, they're going to raise over $500 million. I think that's pretty dope. And
I
then
think
there
that should
was,
be in any state or city across the U.S. Like, if you own property there and it's not your primary residence, then yeah, you'd be paying a hefty tax on that property.
and then too, I saw a clip. I believe it was from last month where he rode with some kids to school. I thought that was dope too, like
Hmm,
on bikes. Hmm.
I haven't seen that. Hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty dope too.
I wish our mayor was like that. It's crazy because I didn't see. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he was at the parade today for Pride, but Cavalier Johnson. But I didn't see any pictures of him at the Pride parade. I saw Mandela. It was Mandela Barnes. I saw pictures of him down at Pride. Being actually, he looked pretty comfortable there. Um, but yeah, I didn't see our local mayor at the any pictures from him there. It's probably I don't follow him on any of his social medias. Everybody know anybody who knows me knows I don't even like the man. I would never vote for him ever again. But speaking of some news, so the House votes to cut funding for a WIC program that feeds millions of pregnant women and children. The cuts are looking to be around $200 million. Now, I'm not really familiar with the WIC program. I know like some women use it to get like baby formula and stuff like that. They got like newborns. I don't know what else it really covers under the WIC program. I'm not really sure about those things. Um, I just know that it covers baby formula and apple juice.
Jesus Christ. So the WIC program covers pregnant women and children up until the age of 5, at least here in Wisconsin. What it offers is things like staples. So like your milk, your eggs, your bread, um, fruits, peanut butter, beans, cheese, things like that, and the juice, certain types of cereal. And then for newborns, they'll get the powdered canned milk is on there. But as they get older, what they're eligible changes, right? So they get more and more stuff as they get older. When they're, they get the baby cereal, they get that type of stuff on there. And then during like this time of the year, you get farmers markets checks. So you can take that down to the farmers market and get some fresh produce.
Now, speaking of making cuts to the WIC program, our favorite angry man has posted a message recently. I want to play that clip because I feel like it kind of ties into this. So here we go.
We're not feeding the babies we have. Why does the government want more? We're not feeding the babies we have. Why does the government want more? I know you're thinking, what's your statistic? Where's your proof that we're not feeding the babies we have? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that my toddler's daycare just opened a food bank in the fucking lobby. My toddler's daycare just opened a food bank in the fucking lobby because his classmates might not be able to eat. We got the government. Who's in charge of SNAP benefits? The government that's in charge of food. The government that decides where our fucking money is going to go is going to give $40 billion to Argentina. They're going to build a fucking ballroom to have big old gilded dances. They're going to send how much fucking money for missiles. But the babies we already got, we're not going to fucking feed. We already don't feed the babies. And the government's out here saying we're under-babied. We're not under-babied. We're underpaid. You want more babies? Fucking pay us. Give us the money to feed our fucking kids. Could you try that? Could you think that one through? Could you pull up one Excel spreadsheet that says pay the moms and dads and they'll fuck more? Who wants to fuck right now with these bills? Who wants to, huh? Who wants to nut and have it count? Right now, when any moment your fucking job can be taken by AI or because of some fucking tariff, because some psychopath from the Epstein plane decides on a willy-nilly whim that he's mad at Canada or some shit. Over and over again, I keep getting told, it's our fault. It's our fault that America's this way. Well, it's real fucking crazy. When I look at this government, with how much fucking money they make and how many fucking vacations they get to use, tell me how we don't get paid family leave. Tell me how the minimum wage at $7.25 just makes just enough sense. Have Dr. Oz of all fucking people stand next to RFK Jr. telling us that we're under-babied and we need to do work. Fuck you. Do your job.
He got so red.
He got a toddler?
How did that baby sleep during these rants? Like, where did his baby sleep at during the rants?
They used to it since the mama was pregnant. I promise you.
Look, he was like, who wants to fuck right now with these bills? So I feel like that tied in pretty well to with them cutting the WIC program. Like, we can't afford to feed the kids that we got now. Do you want us to have more babies? Mm-mm.
You know my stance on that. I ain't having no more kids. The minimum wage been $7.25 for
since I was in elementary school.
At least 20-25 years now.
That's sad. That is really, y'all really think that people can work these minimum wage jobs and take care of 3 to 4 kids? Like, a minimum wage job don't even pay rent. And imagine if you need a 2-3 bedroom apartment or house. You think you can afford a 2-3 bedroom apartment or house rent with making $7.25 an hour? Like, come on now, y'all out here tripping. Like, and everything is just too damn high.
We were watching a documentary yesterday, and it was about some police officers in New York City back in like the late 80s, early 90s.
Doing what they doing, I swear.
It was real good, y'all. It was real good. But I said all of that to say this. Like, they were getting money, right? But then the guy was like, he forgot to pick up his paycheck. Like, they were getting paid $600 a week to be
police
a
officer.
New York City cop, bro. $600. A
And
week.
this was back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Early
They'll give you
90s.
$600.
That's it.
Like, yeah, I'll be trying to sell drugs too. Even $600 back then don't even seem like a lot of money to live off of. Like, what is we doing? And then we got people like Tina, like the medical person, bringing monkeypox over to the United States.
Yeah, I had, and I didn't get a chance to read the whole article, but of course it was, of course it was being talked about at my job. For some reason, monkeypox is always.
We got a memo too about it. That and Ebola.
Yeah. So, but basically, it was some people that was trying to come into the states with, I believe it was an inactivated monkeypox virus. Yeah. But that's crazy though. Like, what you doing?
Why do you even have that in the first place? What made you go travel, spend whatever money you spent to go across the pond to go bring back a dead virus? Like, what was you gonna do with it? Like, you just gonna walk, just try to get a whole bunch of people monkeypox? Like,
what's happening?
People already don't want to get vaccines now. Now you want to bring something else into the country to try to unalive a whole bunch of more people. Like, come on, man, y'all gotta do better. Y'all needs to do better with this stuff. Get y'all lives together. And speaking of sports, because it's another clip in here later. So none of these clips are in order, by the way. They just random. So it's gonna be random stuff along as we go along with the show. But
and you had time to put them in order.
I didn't have time to put them in order.
You did.
Chicago Bears. They are no longer going to be. I don't know if they're going to be called the Chicago Bears because they are moving forward. We're moving the Chicago Bears to Hammond, Indiana, which is basically the far western part of Gary, Indiana, is where they're going to be moving the Chicago Bears to. Where they said they're going to connect the south side of Chicago to Indiana, and there are a lot of Bear fans that are upset. All of us Packer fans can say it's ha ha ha. We get to keep ours. And now it's like, Chicago, y'all doing all this talking like you don't lost the Bears. So like y'all the Bears is not going to be playing in your own state no more, or city. So like, are they still going to be called the Chicago? I mean, because of the lineage behind the name, I guess they still going to keep the name Chicago Bears. Because like I was telling Tina, we already got two NFL teams who are part of New York, but don't play in New York. They play in New Jersey. So their stadium is built in Newark. I think it's Newark, New Jersey or something like that. So, yeah. I don't know. Chicago Bears, ha, ha, ha. For what I say, Chicago Bear fans, ha, ha, ha. Good luck. I know that stadium going to be nice, though, because they stadium is so... I hate their stadium so much. It's built so stupid. No. I was going through my poor days. And, we went to...
So they just not doing it temporarily so they can build a new stadium?
There's no stadium in Gary, Indiana at all. So they be building a brand new stadium.
No, I'm talking about
they be building one from the ground up to play there.
I was talking about in Chicago.
So if they was to try to stay in Chicago, they have to go put like a college football stadium. I don't know what's the nearest college football stadium they have there. They can hold the capacity at Soldier Field while they tear down Soldier Field and rebuild a new stadium. But the plan was to rebuild a new stadium, I guess, right next to Soldier Field. But those plans fell through because I guess they didn't know if they wanted to do a park. Apartment buildings, the city couldn't decide, and then they were going to need some funding from the city. The city, I guess, didn't want to put the funding that they were asking for towards the new stadium build, which is one of the reasons why. What was it? Just the Rams, the St. Louis Rams, had moved to Los Angeles because the city didn't want to help pay for a new stadium, which is, I think, is the same thing going on with Chicago. So Chicago's like, we just gonna move the stadium to somewhere else, and we're gonna build it privately with our own money. Because the plan was to keep them in Illinois, but they were gonna move them to farther west, in like a suburban part. It wouldn't be in Chicago, like a little small city outside of Chicago. their plan was to build there, but now then the plans came up with Indiana, so I guess they're going forward with moving them to Indiana. So haha, Bears,
Womp womp womp.
no more Bears down, or whatever they call themselves. So, because it's a few clips that we got to get through because it's just been some mess going on this week with, you know, the president blaming people for everything that's going on with his administration, like everything is everybody else's fault. So yeah, it's just been some stuff going on. So let's get into these clips. So let's head into the first clip.
So the government agency that is responsible for dealing with bed bugs and similar parasitic insects is now infested by bed bugs. Mind you, Doge and Elon Musk, the Trump administration, they slashed their budget and cut hundreds of employees. New reporting from Notice today has confirmed that the federal government's Insect Defense Agency is infected with bed bugs. It's within the Department of Agriculture. And the irony, as one USDA employee says, was not lost on anyone. So apparently employees were first notified about the situation back in May. The Department of Agriculture decided, okay, we're going to send employees home because we don't want them dealing with bed bugs. They'll work from home, we'll fumigate the building. Well, apparently Notice is reporting that the employees came back and they were experiencing noxious fumes and resulting sickness. And on Friday, employees once again notified their leadership that, hey, bed bugs are still present in this same building that is supposed to fight bed bugs. As always, spread the word. Follow along to stay updated on all the news you need to know about. I'll have another update for you very soon.
So, like, were they collecting them to study them, or did somebody genuinely just have bed bugs at their house and brought them in?
I wish I knew what it was. It was just the simple fact that these two people are supposed to be able to fight bed bugs. Why are they infested with bed bugs? So it's like, I think somebody probably brought them from home. And now the whole department or whatever, the building is infested with them. That's what I think is what's really going on.
I wonder if it was intentional.
It could have been. You never know this day and age with all these craziness that be going on. You just never know.
I'm talking about one of the employees, if it was intentional on their part.
That's what I'm saying. You
and
they want
to work from home.
That's what I'm like. You just never know. That's what I want to know too. Hopefully he posts another update. I want to know. All right, let's head into this next clip. Like I said, I have no idea what the next clip is. So let's just head into the next clip and see what shenanigans that's been going on.
You have to see this. Donald Trump's Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, was just asked in front of Congress under oath why Donald Trump keeps falling asleep in meetings during the middle of the day, and he could not answer the question. He just danced around it the entire time. Just watch.
And what American farmers grow and produce has a fair shot to be sold around the world. On issue after issue, that's been the case. You talk about foreign aid reforms. This is not our money. This is taxpayer money.
Secretary Rubio, have you been at more than one meeting where President Trump has fallen asleep?
That's false. That's false. I've never seen him fall asleep. On the contrary, the guy doesn't sleep, which is a big problem because he calls me at 2 a.m. He calls me at 5 a.m. And, you know, I like to sleep a little bit, maybe not 12 hours, but at least 6. So he works. The other day he was at the Oval Office until 12:30 p.m. 12:30 a.m. I don't know what you're talking about.
Secretary Rubio, I'm going to show you in a moment a video that shows you just lied to Congress.
Oh, okay.
So this is a video of a cabinet meeting literally from last month where Donald Trump is sleeping while you're talking. Please show this video.
A coalition of countries to line up behind the peace deal, behind the border peace, and it's still every day is a challenge, but it's been driven personally by the president. It's the reason why we're involved in this whole Ukraine-Russia conflict. That's not our war. It's not the president's war. This war started. It never would have happened if you'd been president. But this war is going on, and the president is trying to end it.
You are literally talking about issues of war and peace, and Donald Trump is sleeping right next to you.
No, he's not.
If Donald Trump cannot stay awake at these important meetings where the cameras are rolling, imagine what he's like when the cameras are not there. So I'm going to ask you, have you been at classified meetings where Donald Trump has fallen asleep or had trouble staying awake?
I've never been at any meeting where, and the things you're showing me now, he was not falling asleep. And I think
So
it's
you're lying
outrageous that I'm before the
again.
Foreign
You're
Affairs
lying
Committee of the United States
consistently
House of Representatives
to
asking questions
Congress.
about sleep.
You're
This is
lying
a
to
joke.
Congress, Secretary Rubio. So
He just lied in front of Congress. I mean, we've all seen it. Donald Trump falling asleep has been caught on camera, 4K HD. It happens almost every single day, and Rubio wants to pretend that we're not seeing with our own eyes what we're seeing. I mean, what a joke. Deep down, Rubio knows he's lying. We've all seen Donald Trump fall asleep. He has too, and he's probably seen some things behind the scenes that have left him very concerned. He'll never say that, but he knows it's true.
He woke up like, damn, did anybody see me falling asleep? Then fell back to sleep. Like, what? What is we doing? Like, he's literally in a meeting about war, and you're sleeping. Now let Joe Biden, let that been a video of Joe Biden sleep at a meeting. We wouldn't hear the end of it. And it's the fact that, like, if he would stop being up on Twitter, which I got another video later on in the show, but if he stopped being up on Twitter and Instagram, whatever, no, Truth Social, and making AI videos at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, you know what? He'd be able to get some damn sleep. Is all I'm saying.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, we can't necessarily say he was asleep. He looked like he was sleeping, but he wasn't. You know, when I first started hearing like he was asleep, I was expecting for somebody to be not like nodding, like, you know what I'm saying, like visibly like going into a sleep. He could have just had his eyes closed. I mean, I do that a lot. And just close my eyes for a few minutes, but
asleep.
you know.
No, that man was asleep.
I mean, either way,
He looked around. Like, we saw you.
I mean, either way, it's not like, even if he was actually asleep, it doesn't mean that he cared that people saw him sleep. I don't think
He don't care.
He would care. So
he
I
don't
mean,
care at all. Yeah, that's the problem. So the next two clips have to deal with where we live at locally, and I feel like there's a lot of people locally who need to hear this and really start looking at the people we are putting in charge of our local government and who's running our school systems. So let's get into that video.
They knew Milwaukee schools were losing $81 million, and they knew for over a year. And they waited until after you voted to tax yourself $252 million to tell you. That's not mismanagement, that's betrayal. Here's what happened. MPS had been submitting bad financial data to the state for years. Because of that bad data, they were collecting more aid than they were entitled to. When the state figured it out, they took it back, $81 million. But here's the part that should make every Milwaukee voter furious. The state knew. They'd been trying to get basic paperwork from the district since April of 2023. Quarterly meetings, then monthly, then weekly, then daily. Just trying to get an audit that was due the previous September. And while all of that was happening, Milwaukee voters were asked to approve a $252 million referendum to bail out the schools. You voted yes. You taxed yourselves, and the state said nothing. Not until after the votes were counted did it come out that MPS had already lost $81 million. Governor Evers was criticized for it. Republicans were furious. Everyone agreed Milwaukee voters deserved to know before they went to the polls. They found out after. The superintendent resigned, the CFO resigned, 3 separate audits were launched. The reporting crisis has since been resolved, but the most recent audit revealed a brand new $46 million deficit. Different problem, same pattern. So let's keep score. A $1 billion county pension hole from a vote with 0 cost estimates. $81 million in school funding lost to their own paperwork failures, while Milwaukee voters were kept in the dark and asked to pay more. In part 4, Madison has been quietly defunding Milwaukee for over 20 years, and most people have no idea. That video will be out tomorrow. Follow Politically Homeless for more.
I was not happy when that got passed. I was one of the people who voted no on that referendum that they had on there. And I feel like with how he described it, like, I remember all these stories coming out about after how it was passed, and then all this stuff came about. Well, we wasn't told that Madison took back $81 million. We was never told that part. But for them to still have a deficit with a 60 or $40 million deficit, and y'all just approved $252 million from taxpayers, is ridiculous. I feel like there should be a way for us to go back, repeal it, and then have that referendum taken off. Like it should not be in place, especially with the mismanagement of money that they've been doing.
I mean, is it really gonna matter at this point? Like the schools need money either which way it goes. So I mean, it don't bother me. Yeah, I have to pay more. Yeah, I complain about it, but my children have went to these schools and they do need a lot of help. Now, what I would like to see is somebody actually gets in there and actually uses the money for what it's for, so we can see a change happening in our public education around here, because we used to have some really good public schools, and they just started going down the toilet. And I mean, mismanagement of funds is one of the main culprits, right? Cutting corners, doctoring documents up and stuff like that, or just plain and simply just not submitting the stuff that's being requested of you. Now, for the state of Wisconsin, I don't know why it took them so long, right? Because they have been trying to get documents for 2 years. I don't understand what was going on there, but here we are. I feel like education needs to be funded some kind of way. And I mean, with the federal government got old girl is the head of the Department of Education, and then the states are doing stuff like that. It's like,
So
it's crazy.
my whole thing is take that referendum off the taxpayers, and then that money that Madison generates, because basically majority of this state is funded off the city of Milwaukee, and the money that goes into Madison and the money that we're supposed to get back to keep our city funded, we're not getting back. So if we get some of that money back that's supposed to fund our city, and that we're supposed to get back in our what they call it the city tax return, that can go towards these schools and all these other kind of programs and stuff like that, it'll make a big difference. But let's just say like the whole thing is like at throughout this whole year, all these cities put in their money that they collected off of taxes or whatever, and just say Milwaukee, they collected $900 million in taxes that year. And then instead of Milwaukee at least getting at least $600 to $700 million of that tax money back to go into the city of Milwaukee, we might get $100 million or $50 million here and there. And there are other school districts who people are living in these called rural areas, who don't pay as much tax money as the city of Milwaukee, but their schools are getting more funding than the part of the state that has a higher population. And that's where we see this whole problem at. Like, you got these places up north, these up north cities like Dane County, Appleton, all the weird ones that's up north. Their schools and cities get way more funding than the city of Milwaukee, even though the majority of the money that they're receiving is coming from taxpayers in the city of Milwaukee. So they just send that money back.
I thought the funding not have something to do with how well the students test out, like the graduation rate. Like, I think it's a few different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that might be another reason why they're getting more funding.
I don't even know if they even do those tests anymore, because I haven't heard of anybody being tested on that.
Yeah, you do.
They still do what was called Terra Nova test when I was in
I don't know what it's called, but my son has to do a test every year.
So a portion of that was based on that, and it was based on how many students they got and all these other kind of things.
Yeah.
But like I said, MPS is the biggest school district in the state, but yet that school district is receiving 90% what the other cities is. Huh?
Because the kids are doing terrible. The attendance is terrible. The graduation rate is terrible. Like, what are we talking about? So that's why, they're not getting. And my son went to a private parochial school, And we talked about that, I think did we talk about it on the last podcast? I don't know. Where no, I don't think I was talking to you, but basically because it's a charter school, right? They get government dollars to allow children who cannot afford to go to that school to get an education there. Now they have to do these state exams because they get those dollars. You know, if he had went to a school where it was just private pay, they're not required to do those type of tests. So, but that's, I mean, the kids actually got to come to school. What are we paying? What are we putting money if they're not at school?
I mean, yeah, because now, I mean, this is where it comes into parents is not able to parent because they're working 2-3 jobs to keep house going. And now, you know, in some of these households where it's, you know, more than 4 or 5 kids in a household, and the oldest kid is the one that's taking care of kids while mama is at work, and all these other kind of things that's going on. And like I said, if parents is not at home to parent anymore, and then what make you think these kids are going to go to school if the parents is not parenting these kids to go to school? Like, I know a lot of parents trust that their kids will go to school, but in some instances that's just not the case. The kids is like, well, mama ain't here, so I'm gonna go to school. Like, because like I remember because they stopped around my sophomore year of high school, like sophomore year of high school, where if you used to get a phone call, like the parents used to get a phone call if the kid wasn't in school, like around a certain time.
They still do that?
Yeah, because around my senior, I was like, I wouldn't go to school and I'll be at home. No phone call ever comes to the house.
They still do it.
So I don't know if it's just certain schools that do it, or I don't know how it's done. But yeah, like
MPS did it with my first son, and my other son, they did it as well.
Because I said towards the end of my high school career, it was like, yeah, they didn't do it. So I don't know. So it's a lot of factors that plays into why kids are not going to school, and most of the time it's just being a product of the environment that they live in, that they just choose not to participate in going to school. And then there are some who go to school, but they're just not doing anything. Like that one lady who was expecting for her child to graduate high school, and it turns out he's still in the 9th grade. I don't know how she went 4 years without knowing that. I mean, she ain't seen not one report card.
So, right, that's a problem, right?
Yeah,
that's a problem.
Yeah,
on her.
Yeah, on her account. Yeah, like I said, these parents. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's a lot of stuff that plays into it. I hope they can figure out a solution to this. And like I said, our local government just need to do better, especially that damn Cavalier Johnson. So let's get into this second Milwaukee story. So here we go.
A town of 130 people in Wisconsin got a 723% increase in state funding last year. Milwaukee, with 500,000 residents, got only 10%. And Milwaukee got the smallest per capita increase of any community in the entire state. That's not an accident. Here's what's actually going on. Milwaukee cannot raise its own income tax. It cannot raise its own sales tax without state permission. And by Wisconsin law, property tax is basically the only tool Milwaukee has to fund itself. Every other major city in America has a more diverse way to raise money. Milwaukee doesn't, because Madison won't allow it. And there's a program called Shared Revenue, where the state collects taxes from across Wisconsin and sends a portion back to local governments to fund basic services. In 1975, Shared Revenue was the backbone of Milwaukee's budget. Then it got frozen for over 20 years. Milwaukee should be receiving nearly $400 million a year today. Instead, it gets $230 million. That's a $170 million annual gap. And here's how Milwaukee has been filling that gap. Your wheel tax, your garbage tax, your snow removal charge, your streetlight fee. None of that existed in the year 2000, but all of them exist now because the state won't let Milwaukee raise money any other way. And when relief finally came in 2023, researchers found a statistically significant correlation between how a community votes and how much of a funding increase it received. The reddest small towns got the biggest increases. The biggest blue cities got the smallest. Republicans said that they were correcting an old imbalance that shortchanged rural communities. Maybe, but the numbers tell a pretty clear story. A town of 130 people got 723%. 500,000 Milwaukee residents got $38 per person. This isn't just mismanagement. This isn't just a pension scandal. This isn't just bad paperwork. This is a city that has been generating wealth for this state for over 100 years. In part 5, can Milwaukee actually be fixed? After everything in this series, you deserve a real answer. And most people have no idea. This is Politically Homeless. Follow for more.
So, there we go. We create wealth for the whole entire state, and the rest of the state profit off our wealth while we get absolutely nothing. Well, like he said, 230 million. I was like, I didn't know that we produced that much in tax revenue in 1 year, to be honest. I had no clue. And the fact that he said, we supposed to get back 200, we were supposed to give it close to $500 million. We get back 230 million. So a city of, what he say, 700 people got way more funding than the city of 500,000, $38 per resident. Like, that is crazy. And the fact that I always thought that we had a garbage tax and the snow plowing tax thing, and I know the street light tax thing is new. I didn't know that the rest of them didn't exist in the year 2000. Like, I just thought that was just a thing that just always happened. It's just been a thing. I thought the only thing I knew we had to pay for extra garbage cans and stuff like that. But like I said, all the other charges that comes on it's not funded through your property tax, but your water bill. I had no idea none of those things existed. And next week I'm gonna go check his page, and see if he posted the solution on how Milwaukee can fix it. I don't know how the city can fix that problem. Because considering all the wasteful spending that it's been doing, especially with that damn streetcar. That streetcar is the most wasteful thing that this city has done. And then on top of that, we don't even have the money to fund it to keep it going. And if we get rid of it, we got to pay back the federal government what they spent on building it.
I found out when I went down to my son's college, like, their students actually use it quite a bit because it's free.
For now.
like it can take them to the train station and they can go to Chicago, you know?
Yeah, it moves around the downtown area. Mm-hmm. It goes basically from I'm trying to think of where, somewhere near Water Street, somewhere I think, or Houghton Avenue. I can't forget. It's because the names change once you get downtown. But it basically take you from like a certain portion of downtown down to the lakefront. The track's supposed to end at the lakefront. But yeah, but it don't go to the busy part of lakefront. It only go to the part that's near the Milwaukee Art Museum. But like I said, I feel like it was a waste of money. Like for the college students who get to ride it for free, it's a benefit towards them. But for everybody else, they just look like eyesore. Because most of the time, where I've actually seen that streetcar, I've never seen it like full. Like it's most of the time I've seen it, it's empty. I never even rode the thing before.
I've never ridden it. I know, what was that last year? Like during Summerfest, it was being used. When I went,
it was Summerfest, and when we had the Republican National Convention, it was being used.
It was being used. Most of the time, I'm not a downtown driver, and when I'm down there, it's usually later at night. So I would see a few people here and there, but I mean, public transportation overall has to increase because the buses don't be packed no more.
That's because the buses are not affordable no more.
I'm just saying, like public transportation, like back when I was high school, coming fresh out of high school, everybody got on the bus. It wouldn't, you know. So, but
I mean, and I feel like the reason why you don't see a lot of people on the buses no more, because as the years went by, they have cut a lot of the bus routes. So the buses don't really go to, like, if you had a job that was like really far out, these would be like bus routes that they get you there and you walk the rest of the way there, or you transfer to like a line that's part of wherever the county city bus is out there. But now they don't have it no more. It's like they cut so many of the routes, it's ridiculous. because of like I said, mishandling of funds with the Milwaukee transit system too, which is crazy. But let's head into this next story because it's quite a few stuff to still get through. So here we go.
In the past 24 hours, America has faced 3 mass shootings, including at a high school graduation. You may not hear about them because mass shootings have become so normalized in American society, but I refuse to normalize them, so let's run through them. A mass shooting at the end of a high school graduation ceremony in San Francisco, California, has killed 1, injured 3 others. This occurred in the parking lot of Fairfield High School. In Birmingham, Alabama this morning, 2 people are dead, 5 others injured after a mass shooting erupted in the Sandusky neighborhood. At least 7 adults are now currently suffering from gunshot wounds as a result of this mass shooting. In Chicago, 2 are dead, 5 are injured after a mass shooting on the Chicago South Side. 7 total have been shot. And that's just in the past 24 hours. Several dead, over a dozen injured, in a country where mass shootings have become far too normal. Don't let it. Spread the word. Follow along for more.
He looked more and more stressed out every day.
It's the news getting to him. So yeah, I'm it's so crazy because now, like he said, the news, as far as I know, I didn't see no Facebook posts or anything on Twitter, TikTok, or Facebook where there's any news posts about any of these mass shootings that happened over that course of 24 hours. And it's just almost like, have we come so accustomed to mass shootings that when they happen, it just feels like a normal day? Like, that's crazy. We that desensitized to that kind of stuff now.
I mean, I saw a few reports on them, but I don't like to deep dive into reading everything that happened, but that's my personal preference.
Yeah. All right, let's move into this next story. Like I said, we got a lot to get through, so here we go.
Donald Trump is in the middle of his worst string of losses that he's ever had as president, and he couldn't be taking it worse, from his own party rejecting his policy to trying to gaslight the world into thinking that everybody loves him. Here is everything that you need to know. We have so much to cover, let's try to speed run this shit. First and foremost, Donald Trump's SAVE Act, aka Trump's voter suppression bill, has failed in Congress again. This time because of 4 Republican senators who split from Trump and killed the bill. This is a monumental loss for the Trump administration. The SAVE Act is dead again, and this time his own party did it to him. Let's move on to Trump's second big loss. Some members of Congress are now calling for the 25th Amendment to be invoked against Trump to throw him out of office because he has dozed off on camera in the Oval Office again. So far in Donald Trump's second administration, he's fallen asleep on camera in the Oval Office 14 times in a year and a half. Meanwhile, Biden, throughout his entire 4-year administration, only fell asleep on camera 4 times. Keep in mind, this is very ironic because one of MAGA and Trump's largest talking points prior to the election was that Sleepy Joe was unfit to serve because of the 4 times he fell asleep in the Oval Office. Okay, let's move on to the last big loss. Last week on this channel, we went over how a judge ruled that Donald Trump had to remove his name from the Kennedy Center, arguing that the center was named after one president, not 2, and Donald Trump affixing his name to the center was illegal. Well, the process to remove his name has officially begun, and in fact, construction crews will have it completely removed by June 12th. And what has Donald Trump's response been to these major losses? Well, it's been to try to gaslight us all into thinking that the world's in love with him. He's been crashing out on Truth Social. He posted this AI video, accompanied by this AI song, saying that everyone loves him. I'll show you a couple highlights from that now.
Trump, 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 Trump. Everywhere I go, they love Donald, Donald Trump. Down in Mexico, they love Donald, Donald Trump. Met some Africans, they love Donald, Donald Trump. Even in China, they love Donald, Donald Trump.
That's all for now. Trump's losing his mind. I'll keep you updated as we learn more.
I do have a longer version of that Trump video somewhere in the show, but the man is crazy. This is what I'm saying. This is why he's falling asleep in the Oval Office, because he's up in the middle of the night making these damn AI videos. You cannot take this man serious. What is going on? Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Because it's more shenanigans. I just feel like it's only gonna get worse as the show goes on.
Oh my God.
The way how he was in that chair asleep, like that's how I definitely be asleep. Like, oh, I am. All right, let's head into this next one. Here we go.
Trump gets into this whole thing of the Democrats, D-U-M, because a lot of people didn't know that dumb has a silent B there, which means Trump didn't know that. And Trump goes, now they're saying my deal is like the Obama deal, but it is very much not like the Obama deal.
Obama.
Right. Take a listen.
Iran nuclear deal penned by Barack Hussein Obama. It's one of the dumbest deals I've ever seen. And this has no relation. I like these morons, these Democrats, D-U-M, Democrats, that go on television and say, oh, well, this is just like the Obama deal. This is the exact opposite. This is no path to a nuclear weapon. That was a absolute path to a nuclear weapon that you couldn't have done anything about. This is
Anyway, Trump sees the writing on the wall. The best that he can hope to do right now is to put together a deal that would be like the Obama nuclear deal, but realistically not as good and not as strong. And so what he is left to do is to say it would be nothing like that, except, of course, it would. It just wouldn't have Obama's name on it. It would seek to control and limit the level of enrichment of uranium that Iran can do. It would deal with releasing some sanctioned money to the Iranians, which the Obama deal did, and Trump was hugely critical of that when it happened, and so were other Republicans. It would be the best that Trump can hope to do is to put back in place something like the Iran nuclear deal. Hey, if you like this kind of content, make sure to check out our full show. Our social media clips are just a peek into the stories I cover.
Speaking of that deal, it was like Obama gave Iran and money. So that was money that was sanctioned that basically the U.S. held and we kept. It was their money. We just gave them their money back that we were just holding on to for some sanctions that happened before Obama got in office, by the way. But speaking of, I don't know what he said in that clip. Like, nothing he said it made sense when he was talking about Democrat. Nothing he said in that statement. I'm like, what? It's like, are you taking nuclear weapons away or giving it to him? Like, I really didn't understand what he was trying to get, the point he was trying to get across.
He wasn't trying to get a point across. He was talking in circles, so you would still not walk away with anything. That's a tactic. He knew what he was doing.
God.
He know what he doing, playing stupid and dumb and stuff like that. That man is not stupid, nor is he dumb. It's a deflection.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get into this next one.
Knicks fans are furious at the President of the United States because Donald Trump's presence at Madison Square Garden for Game 3 has led the Knicks to have to cancel all watch parties outside of MSG during and after the game. Why? Because of increased security measures for the President of the United States. Not only will they have to go through TSA-style screening, not only can they no longer bring any bags into the arena, not only will it take potentially hours to get in, and the Knicks are telling their fans to get in 2 hours plus before, not only do they have to spend upwards of $5, $6, $7, sometimes $10 or even $20,000 for a ticket, well, now if they want to just watch outside the stadium, New Yorkers can't do that as well. Security measures for the President of the United States are extremely tight for obvious reasons, but Knicks fans on the internet are not happy. They think that Donald Trump is co-opting this event, and it's ruining New Yorkers' time. Let me know what you think, especially if you're a New Yorker or if you're coming from San Antonio. Spread the word. Follow for more.
If he would have did that when Milwaukee was in playoffs, so y'all see, everybody saw how we had that Deer District packed to the rim. that was the first time that over 100,000 people was in our downtown area at one time like that. And
and it went off without a hitch, didn't it? It was pretty cool.
It was no issue to the very end, but it was really no issues during the whole entire event. And I feel like being like the fans who be outside of the arena when they're having these watch parties, it's a really great experience.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and for him to be like and be selfish, like, oh, I'm gonna go to the next game. Like, just take your ass in DC and let us have our fun. Like, you already took fun away out of everything else. Like, let us have this moment. It's been 20-some years since the Knicks have made it to the NBA Finals, and here you go ruin it. Oh, God, Danhausen, help them. Let's get into this next clip. So I believe this next clip is the one that Tina had just sent me earlier before the show. And I think he might have got angry. I don't know. This might be that clip, might not be that clip. I don't know, but let's figure out what we're going into. There we go.
Donald Trump just completely melted down, crashed out, and canceled an interview midway through on Meet the Press after being pressed on his lies. A stunning moment from a president who seems to be more fragile than ever. Watch this and spread the word.
That they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But, Mr. President,
you know why I got that? Because you have no credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
your
about
elections in this country. We're like a third world country. Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr. President,
you're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know.
I've sat in the rain with you for an hour, on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr. President,
a country can never be great with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Now, I do have a better video of that clip because I know the audio was kind of low for that one, but I do have a better version of it. So here we go right here.
The leftist party is assassinating conservatives.
Nope, wrong clip. I don't know where it's at. I could have sworn I had it in here.
And then in the final...
Yeah, I don't know where it's at. I thought I had it in here. I don't know. Oh,
the election was rigged. It was a dirty election,
Mr.
and it's
President,
happening again right now in California.
Presented evidence.
It's happening right now in California. Right now, it's look at what's happening in California.
To that?
It's
the
4
Republicans
days.
Are doing well in
California. It's no, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days. And they aren't even close to coming up with it. You know why they're doing that? Because they're cheating on the election.
What? Do you have evidence to support
all I have to do is look. All I have to do is look.
That's not evidence.
And I listen. And I listen to people. And let's see what happens.
But, sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes in
Do you think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a winner?
State and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote in California.
They're crooked, just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
really.
Let's
well,
continue.
You play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But, Mr. President,
you know why I got that? Because you have no credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
your
about
elections in this country. We're like a third world country. Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr. President,
you're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know.
I've sat in the rain with you for an hour, on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr. President,
a country can never be great with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
He was very upset. He was a little
He
angry
was
man.
he was very upset. When I happened to stroll past that earlier, I was like, "Oh, what's happening here?"
And so when he talk about these elections, how it was crooked, it was rigged and everything, like they can't believe all the Biden got all these votes. People was tired of your mess. That was people tired of your mess. And because I feel like the only reason Donald Trump that you really got elected for this second term was just because of the fact that it was a woman running, and there were a lot of men, both Republican, Democrat, white, black, Asian. They just did not want a woman running this country, and that's the only reason why you got this second term. And I do got a clip related to what she was saying about farming and stuff like that, and the cost of dairy and everything going up. But yeah, for him to go off on a woman like that and calling her stupid and everything, the way how he talked to people, I've never seen a president ever in the history on TV mic'd up talking to people that you are supposed to represent, whether a person is a Democrat or a Republican. If you are a Republican president, you still have to represent those Democratic people who did not vote for you. You still are the voice of those people, and for you to just be like, you all are stupid and don't care about them and don't care about what their needs are or anything like that, you are a selfish man, and I don't like you.
And I didn't even know he was in Wisconsin. I had no idea.
Yeah, I had no clue he was here. I don't know when he came here. But let's head into the next clip about farming.
Expect money to be moving out of your wallet at the ice cream parlor this summer, and that's because getting dairy from cows like these is getting a lot more expensive because of the war in Iran.
If you could pick one word to describe how it feels to be a farmer right now in America, what would that one word be?
Frustrated. And number one, because most of this situations have been caused by the administration's actions.
That's Darren Von Ruden, the president of the Wisconsin Farmers Union, who runs this small family-run farm in Westby, Wisconsin. He says the Trump administration's policies, like the war in Iran, is making it so much more expensive to run equipment like this tractor.
We were running over 100 gallons of diesel through our tractors every day. And so when you look at that $1.80 difference, $1.90 difference, that's leading to more costs for us as farmers.
Diesel prices from pumps like these have shot up from $3.22 a year ago to about $5.35 today. And that's not even mentioning President Trump's tariff policies that have made buying new equipment so much more expensive and have ruffled the feathers of President Trump's biggest trading partner.
He's pissed off our biggest buyer with China. And with them not buying our products, we're losing those markets to other countries.
Does it feel like the president is putting American farmers first?
You know, not really. I would. There's certain things that he's done correctly, but they're very few. Certainly understand the America First approach. That's what we all hope for. But in reality, are we putting America first when we're putting ourselves at a market disadvantage overnight? You know, number one, because the American consumer expects high quality products at an affordable price. And we're really not going to see that with tariffs on pretty much everything that the consumer buys and consumes.
Only thing I have to say about that was you voted for him. You voted for this. You voted for him to put you in this situation because the majority of farmers in the state of Wisconsin voted for Donald Trump, and this is the result of your vote.
I'm still tripping about him saying, but when he said something moving, I was like, that was so corny. And then when he got on the tractor, that was real corny too. Sorry.
Oh my God.
But I listened to the message though.
All right. Well, let's head into the next clip. Here we go.
The leftist party is assassinating conservatives.
You define what you mean by leftist party, because I think that conservatives are very good at individual responsibility. And when you're placing the blame on an entire party because one 22-year-old dude killed somebody, which is obviously tragic, then what do you mean by leftist party?
Yeah, so we have Kamala Harris calling Trump supporters fascist, Biden calling Trump supporters fascist. When you have these big leaders calling individuals fascist, and then that is getting tagged on to conservatives as a whole.
Can I ask you, is your position that people in power should not be calling the opposition party fascists or Gestapo or Hitler?
Absolutely.
Donald Trump called Kamala Harris and Joe Biden a fascist a dozen times throughout the campaign trail. He called them Gestapo, and only one politician has called Donald Trump Hitler, and it's J.D. Vance, his vice president.
When you are attaching the term fascist, you're talking about Nazis. You're talking about specifically Nazis. And when they say oppression...
Not just Nazis.
I'm saying specifically for what I'm saying. The suppression of the opposition, when they're calling Trump Hitler, they're calling conservatives...
Who's they? J.D. Vance?
I'm sorry, leftist. When the leftist...
Which leftist politician? Can you name one?
I think you're moving the goalpost here.
Wait, no. Can you name one leftist politician who has called Trump Hitler?
It's every single... It's like...
So you shouldn't be throwing this out when no leftist politicians have actually called Trump Hitler.
And you're throwing out the term fascism.
Is saying that an election was stolen when it wasn't fascism? Wait, do you think the 2020 election was stolen?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know because I'm not
honestly,
up in power to
this
find
proves
that
my
out.
point. Trump is causing a rise of fascism in our generation. I would never say that you're a fascist, but I think there is a normalization of an ideology where people are denying elections. You don't even know if the 2020 election was stolen. This isn't America. The 2020 election was not stolen.
You've been eliminated by the majority.
So her own people who's there debate with her was like, girl, you sound stupid, making the rest of us look stupid, get off the stage.
I be trying to watch those sometimes, but they be like going on for hours.
Yeah.
Those little debates like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I just try to find little clips of it. But yeah, let's head into some more shenanigans.
Donald Trump woke up and posted this AI video of himself this morning on social media, and I'm truly just at a loss for words. You have to see it.
Trump. Everywhere I go, they love Donald Trump. Down in Mexico, they love Donald Trump. Flew to Italy, they love Donald Trump. In the Middle East, they love Donald Trump. And some Africans, they love Donald Trump. Even in China, they love Donald Trump. And these Indians, they love Donald Trump. Trump. Everywhere I go, they love Donald Trump. Trump. Everywhere I go, they love Donald Trump. Man, I gotta say, I love Donald.
It's D-Day, by the way, today. And instead of addressing that was the first thing that Donald Trump posted this morning, that AI slop video. How anybody can look at that and say, yeah, I support that, that's perfectly normal to me, is insane. I just miss when we had presidents like Joe Biden and Barack Obama, when we didn't have to think about this stuff. They were just normal people doing their job.
I even miss Bush.
Not on D-Day. Woo, child.
Oh, that video is such an embarrassment. Oh my god! You talking about you got the Chinaman with the Trump grill. It's too much.
Mommy.
It's too much.
That was a lot.
I told you I had another view of that video. All right, so let's head into this next clip because, yeah.
This conversation is only for the Europeans who tried to convince America that their heat waves were hot. As you see, your professional elite athletes are struggling. France is struggling. Norway is struggling. England is struggling. Czech just arrived yesterday in North Texas. I'm telling you right now, we just live differently. We're not bragging. It's just that you guys made this weird competition when you said that 80 degrees was hot where you're from. And I get it. It might be hot to you, but it is literally raining right now and it's 85 degrees. Like we are just used to heat in the summer. Like you guys just don't understand that piece of it. And we're not trying to be facetious. This has nothing to do. If you've never been part of this conversation, then hop out. This is for the Europeans who are always like, you guys don't understand our hot is hotter. Your professional elite athletes are struggling right now. They are struggling. Your elite athletes. What do you think you're going to do here? God, y'all stupid.
So even in the books that I listen to, the audio books that I listen to, they're based, they're like fictional books. A lot of those characters, when they come from overseas and they come to America, that's one of the first things that the characters complain about is the American heat. There has been a lot of I follow some people and I come across videos on TikTok of people who have moved from England or visiting from England, and they come over here to America during the summer, and then they don't realize how massive America is, one, and then two, they didn't realize how hot it get here in America. Like, they don't understand, like, 30 degrees Celsius is like 100 degrees to them, like 100 degrees Fahrenheit into us. It's like they said, they're not used to our kind of heat, so they come over here and they be like, "Oh, England is hot. It's hot. You guys are not as hot as us." And they come over here and be like, "Yeah, we're sorry. You're hotter than hell over here in America." And the fact that your professional sports team can't handle the weather, which means they're not going to do well in this World Cup series. It don't look like they're going to do well at all. All right, so let's head into this next clip because I don't know what it is. So here we go.
And then in a final bizarre moment during which Trump was able to stay awake, he says that, what happened to Joe Biden during that infamous June 27th, 2024 debate could have happened to Trump. And all of a sudden, I think that something's going on here. As the focus has increasingly grown with regard to concerns about Donald Trump's health, Trump seems to kind of defend Joe Biden's acuity and goes, when I had him in the Oval Office, he seemed completely and totally fine. Something happened during the debate and maybe the debate alone. I think this is Trump realizing, I got to tread lightly here because I'm not doing so well as far as cognitive goes.
Joe Biden is out promoting a new book this week. When you met with Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, right here in the Oval Office on November the 13th of 2024, could you detect any cognitive decline in President Biden at that time?
No, not really. He was the same guy I've been watching for a long time. I mean, you could go back 40 years. I watched him 40 years ago, 30 years ago. He's never the sharpest guy. You do know that, right? It wasn't like he was sharp as a tack. But, no, it was the same guy. They actually invited me here before the election, which was strange. We went here before, but then I met also, as you know, we did the ritual. And, he was fine as far as I was concerned. I don't know.
This is fascinating because that's a 2024 meeting. Trump is now saying, think of it. Trump is saying that in 2024, after Trump spent 5 years talking about Joe Biden's decline and lack of cognitive acuity, Trump goes, we met in November of 24 and he was fine. What? And then in the year and a half since, he's continued to go after Biden but he was fine in November of 24. Wow.
Something happened to him during the debate. It could have been me. I thought I had a very good debate. Nobody ever says that. They say that Biden did badly. What about me? Did I do well? There's a
everything's about Trump.
Reason he did badly. So the question is, did he do badly because he choked or because he didn't have it? But he didn't have a good, I would say this, he did not have a good night.
Donald Trump is now acknowledging that after he spent years attacking Biden's cognitive acuity, and before he continued spending years attacking Biden's cognitive acuity, he met with Biden, and Biden was completely fine in the Oval Office. Think about that.
Biden was fine in 2024. That's all I got to say. And once again, he was rambling. I still have a clue about what he was talking about. But let's head into this next clip.
Donald Trump has now blamed the weather for the fact that he crashed out, melted down, and ended his Meet the Press interview with Kirsten Walker early. He went on stage with the farmers in Wisconsin and essentially said, I had a beautiful barn that I was doing this interview in with fake news NBC, but it was raining and I got really angry with them, putting the blame on the rain and the weather, not on the fact that he was called out on his lies. Because if you watch the video, which I have posted earlier today, Welker clearly pushes him on the fact that he has spread complete misinformation and lies regarding elections, but specifically the California election, where Spencer Pratt, his endorsed candidate, is on the verge of dropping down out of the top 2 in the LA mayor's race. He got mad about that, not the weather, but he is putting the blame on the rain and on the weather. So that's where we're at. As always, spread the word. Full updates on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free. Follow along, stay updated on all the news you need to know about.
I'm gonna start blaming the weather on when I'm cranky like him. I'm just the weather made him crash out.
Yeah, it's legit. I mean, yeah. If it's too hot, I'm gonna crash out.
Pretty much. Let's head into this next one. We almost. I'm messing up all the camera views, y'all.
We have huge news right now, just in time for Donald Trump's birthday. The Epstein Files Library is in Washington, D.C., right in Donald Trump's backyard, and I have the first look. I'm going to show it to you right now. Here's a major timeline of everything related to Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. In the Epstein Files Library, every single Epstein file that has been partially redacted and printed by the DOJ is printed out. Binders on binders. Over 3,000 of these volumes, millions and millions of pages. These are all Epstein files. There's a station for you to call the DOJ and to demand the release of all of the remaining files. Remember, there are 6 million total files. They've only released about half of them. And it's a wall of notes that is going to start growing. A lot of these notes are from the New York stop. The DC stop is going to explode after people come. Let me show you some of them. If you're in Washington, D.C., this will be officially open on June 9th in 2 days, and will be open just in time and on Donald Trump's birthday, June 14th. What better birthday present to give the president than to come here, call his DOJ, and demand the release of the files?
Somebody was super petty when they did that. Somebody was petty. Like, let's open up the Epstein Library right around his birthday. Let's be petty about it. I kind of want to go see it, to be honest.
I want to see the new Obama Center or whatever that is that's about to open.
From what I've seen, it's really nice, and it has a really good view of Chicago, and it looks like it has a very nice outside, like park garden type area. It looks really nice. The building I'm not really a fan of. I'm like, it kind of looks like a prison. But yeah, I like the fact that they do have a room in there that look like where they got it set up like the Oval Office, like when he was in office, exactly how it looked, how he was in office. He even said it looks exactly how it looked when he was in office. So yeah, when I say when all the hype is like die down about it, and I will go visit it. But right now I'm not. People was like wait hours and hours for tickets to get to that library. But let's head into this next one.
The Trump administration is now blaming Joe Biden for the fact that we have New World flesh-eating screwworm in Texas for the first time since 1966. The U.S. Department of Agriculture placed the blame not on the fact that DOJ cut critical monitoring programs to prevent the outbreak we're seeing in Texas, but placed the blame on the Biden illegal immigration crisis, as they called it, saying that because of Biden's open door policies on the southern border, the New World screwworm was able to essentially come in. The New World screwworm is a flesh-eating screwworm that could impact livestock here in the United States. There is an outbreak. A disaster declaration has been declared, but it didn't come in until 18 months after Joe Biden left office. And farmers, ranchers in Texas Republicans have been sounding the alarm for months, saying that this screwworm is making its way through Mexico, making its way to Texas, and saying that the Trump administration didn't do enough to stop it. But today, the Trump administration isn't placing the blame on funding cuts, but rather it's placing the blame on Biden. Spread the word, follow for more.
That's because
he was busy. Of course they blaming it on Biden, of course.
Yeah. And then he was, and then the bells wasn't sounding because he was too busy deporting 18 million Mexicans out of the U.S. That's what he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Next clip.
Ain't
Because
no
Cavalier
way.
Johnson, David Crowley, and Tony Evers, I'm going to throw your ass in there too. There is no way in heaven, hell, or anywhere in between the three of y'all thought that tearing up the city of Milwaukee the way that y'all are tearing it up on all four corners at the same time was a good idea. You come by. Because if y'all don't want us on the south side, just say that. If you don't want us to enjoy the summer in the year 2026, just say that. Because I'll be damned, that's what it's giving. It's giving, you know what, you just go to work, you go home, and occasionally you go to your place of worship. Because how this city is towed up, you cannot possibly want us to enjoy life. You can't And when I mean construction is everywhere, have y'all been to the lakefront? There is construction by the fucking lake. Y'all do realize that Pride starts this week, Polish Fest is the following weekend, and then it's every other festival after that. Where at the lakefront? It's already no place to park, but with the construction, there really isn't nowhere to park. Like, I don't think y'all thought this through. And then not to mention with all the construction on the expressways and this, that, and the other, y'all do know that State Fair is in 2 weeks, right? I mean, in 2 months, right? State Fair is in 2 months in West Dallas. It's construction out there. Y'all want the whole state to go to West Dallas with all this construction. Y'all didn't think this through. Y'all did not think this through. And Milwaukee has amazing summers. Milwaukee has great summers. But y'all gonna make folks not want to do nothing because not only with the cost of gas, but because of construction. And then what's not being constructed on, the roads are fucking terrible. Those potholes are damn near sinkholes. Like, come on. Like, I swear to God, y'all did this on purpose. And I really do think that it is deeper than just construction. I really do. I really do. I feel as though that y'all trying to isolate us away from each other. Like, it is something deeper and bigger than just, oh, we need to demolish the roads and the bridges, this, that, and the other. Nope. It's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. And y'all can get y'all asses. Y'all can have Cavalier, Ninja Turtle looking ass go on the news and talk all he want. He full of shit and lies. I hate I even voted for him. Like, no, y'all are ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I have never experienced anything like this, and I've been here all my life. I have never seen all ways to one side of the city tow up, demolished, messed up. Never, ever. And, oh my God, it is outright terrible. It is horrible. And here's the gag. I don't drive. I do Uber or Lyft, the bus, or I'm in the ride or in the car with somebody. And I get motion sickness by just being in the car. It's ridiculous. And then y'all put roundabout. Y'all putting roundabouts. Lisbon, is that Lisbon over there off the Capitol? All them damn roundabout. Whose idea was this? They need to be fired immediately. Immediately fired. This was not a good idea. This was not a thought out plan. This was not a brainstormed event. It wasn't. Y'all just threw some shit together. It's like, you know what? That'll work. And that's what we got. Because it is such an inconvenience. And then on Walnut, because I got all them goddamn bumper thingies in the middle of the street, the first responders can't respond to nobody. I was in traffic when the first responder was trying to get through. They couldn't get through. So who are y'all really helping and protecting when y'all came up with this shit? This is just, oh God. This is horrible. It is horrible. It should never take an hour to get to where you're going now. But with all this traffic, all this construction and traffic, it's terrible. It's terrible. Y'all really don't want us to enjoy life. Y'all do not want us to enjoy the summer. Y'all don't want us just to be okay. Y'all found a way to fuck up everything else. And having all four corners of the city of Milwaukee in construction, y'all have done that. Y'all have done that. Everybody talk about how bad the traffic is. It's not just one or two people. It's everybody has been talking about how bad this traffic is. So it has to be terrible. And the sinkholes that y'all call potholes, okay.
So I agree with her 100% on what she was saying. Because currently, to this day, the 16th Street bridge is still out. The 27th Street bridge has been out since earlier this year. The traffic on I-94 is terrible. They have National Avenue right now is completely shut down. You almost can't even drive on National Avenue in certain areas. It's terrible. And then today, as I was coming from Sam's Club today, they had a portion of the highway. It was like 3 lanes and a highway closed, but there was repaving the highway that leads to going to if you're going west towards Beloit, and for the people who were coming from the airport to try to get north to go to Milwaukee, you couldn't go north, so you ain't had no choice but to go divert and go west to go west. It's terrible. It's terrible. And like I said, and that was one of the things when she had brought it up that I had thought about, because there was a video, there was like a Waymo that was in the way. The fire department trying to get to a fire, and the fire department couldn't get to the fire because there was a Waymo car blocking the road. And I had thought about that. The way how this traffic be backed up, and then y'all got these like bumper things that's out in this what's supposed to be the second lane. Then you got vehicles parked in what's supposed to be the second lane of traffic now to have these protected bike lanes. If there is an emergency, how these emergency vehicles are supposed to get through? Because we don't got nowhere to pull over to let the emergency vehicles pass. How y'all got the streets set up? I just thought about that too.
People just start running through the intersection to let the emergency vehicles go past, like, because they can't go around on the left or the right anymore.
Yeah.
We got to just keep going through the intersection so they can get from behind us.
And then more than likely, if the cars ain't got no the cars that come from the opposite direction, they ain't gonna know there's emergency vehicles behind us. Why everybody? So that's gonna cause a massive accident that's just waiting to happen. It's gonna happen. So I got 3 more clips. The other ones just gonna have to wait till next week because I want to get these in. These 2 of these clips are what Tina had sent me, and I was like, ha. I'm gonna play it on the podcast. So here we go.
Is he? Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Don't look at me. I've had nothing to do with him for a while. Good point. He is one of mine. You know what? Let me just... Yeah, this time he really might be. All right, bring him down. What was that? I think he's using flatulence as proof of life, like an alarm. Is this meeting still going on? I was just blinking. Ah, no, he's still alive. So, see you tomorrow? Yeah, see you tomorrow.
He know.
Dog, it was the towel for his hairstyle for me. Oh my goodness. This meeting still going on. I was just blinking, man. When I seen that, I swear I was about to. I couldn't even breathe.
This man has another one. He has another one.
Yes. Okay, diseases, quick updates. New World Screwworm here. Hello, and what are you? I'm a parasitic fly whose eggs hatch inside wounds and literally eat living flesh from the inside out. Good. And because the US cut the program that kept me at bay, now I'm in Texas. I do like it when the humans do us a favour. And they've officially declared a disaster because there's 2 cases of me in cows 6 miles apart. Oh, only 2 cases. I eat living flesh. I'm going to be a problem. But only in livestock. No, I can spread to humans if I go untreated. And knowing them, you will be. Speaking of spreading to humans, bird flu. It's been a while. H5N1 just got into a human from a cat. How'd you get in a cat? From cow's milk. And how'd you get in a cow? From a bird. Bird, cow, cat, human. Got it. How is this happening? The US fired bird flu response staff. Again, great for us. Ebola! Still funny to me. My Congo outbreak has over 1,000 suspected cases and almost 100 deaths. Good numbers. And there's no cure for this strain. Brilliant. And I even started spreading a month before the humans detected me. How'd you get away with that? The US cut funding to... US cut funding. We can guess the rest. Kalshi says there's a 23% chance Ebola will make it to the US this year. I'm working on it. A 22% chance it'll be in Canada. It's right next door. And a 46% chance it'll be in India. Oh, so technically I'm an underdog. Lyme disease here. Talk to me. Ticks carrying a rare, more severe form of me have been found in New York. Finally, some success for the New York ticks. There's now over 2,000 cases of me in America already this year. But you were eliminated in the year 2000. Yeah, until a lot of Americans stopped getting vaccinated. Is there anything spreading where America isn't just helping us out? There's record cases of gonorrhea and syphilis across Europe. Well, it's nice to see some humans are still getting certain things the old-fashioned way. Fucking, you didn't have to say that bit.
Yeah, I stumbled upon his account today. I was like, oh, I like his satire. Let me go ahead and follow him.
Not the
Yes.
US. We cut all the funding and stuff. Chlamydia, gonorrhea, Lyme disease. I was like, I forgot Lyme disease even existed. It's just shit. It's shit's getting real. It's getting bad. So this last clip is something where this is somebody who really enjoys their job, and I was like, ha ha ha, this would be really funny to see somebody do this in person to some children. So here we go. It was the spin on the try. He tried to do the spin on the board with the thing for me. Oh Lord. Okay, with that said, because we at this point in the show and it's late as hell, and I gotta go get my ass big, so I gotta be up at 4 in the morning. So let's head into the final thoughts. Here we go.
Let me see. Final thoughts for me today. You know, I don't know how we're gonna go through the rest of his term with all of these and that. Like, he crashing out, he falling asleep, he doing AI generated content on D-Day that includes Asian people with grills. You know, I just wake up and, you know, it's just every day is something new. When you just don't think he can top himself, he does. And he continues to reinvent his foolishness. And I mean, he's very persistent. As far, I still don't know who's supposed to be running for governor here besides the guy that was still in the signs. I guess whoever name was on the signs is the ones that's running. I haven't seen any commercials. I don't know what's going on with the government, etc., etc. And we can all solve this by allowing Wisconsin to sell weed legally. And that's my final thought.
Please make it legal, because boo, that will generate a lot of tax dollars for our city. So David Crowley, I know, is one of the people that's running for governor. Mandela Barnes, and there's an independent lady. I don't know. I want to get her nationality wrong because she either Hmong or Korean or some of Eastern Asia. But yeah, so she's running from, and there's some other people that's running for governor. Fuck you. What's our Cavalier Johnson? Like she said, you Ninja Turtle bastard. Fuck you. Because like I said, these streets is horrible. These ain't even, like she said, they ain't even potholes, but these are ditches. There are ditches all in these streets. The traffic is horrible. The construction is horrible. We got a president who will cut funding to basically sound like to the CDC, and got all these diseases and stuff running rapid in the United States that's gonna spread throughout the world. The next thing boom, we got a whole nother COVID thing going on with a bunch of diseases that we can't get rid of. The fact that people got chicken pox now, like I had the chicken pox, but the fact that people, and I heard, like after, like she said, this, it was eradicated in 2000, and then people stopped getting vaccines, because now you got Robert F. Kennedy, who don't know nothing about science. All these people he got work for him know nothing about science, and here telling people not to get vaccines and stuff. Just stop. It's crazy. Stop it. And that's my final thought. Get your shit together. And that's my final thought. And with all that being said, don't forget to follow us on our social media accounts, which is Same Cast Different Day on Facebook, Same Cast the FNT Day on TikTok. But if you search Same Cast Different Day podcast on all social media platforms, we will pop up. And then let us know what y'all think about what some other stuff we can add on to the show that you want us to talk about. There's been lots of comments on the videos we've been posting on on Facebook and Instagram. I haven't checked the TikTok account, but Facebook and Instagram. And I'll say shout out to everybody because in the last 28 days, we have hit over 54,000 views on Facebook. So thank y'all to everybody who's been supporting and following us. Thank you so much. And with that being said, we'll see you all on the next episode of Same Cast, Different Day podcast.
Bye.